Good morning, everyone, because it is the morning of Friday, the 22nd of August, and this is the preview from the AntePoster of day 4, the final day of the meeting on the Naves up at York. Just going to look at the two group races on the Saturday. The Strensall Stakes, which opens the card, and the new Group 1, new 7 furlong Group 1 at 3 o'clock, just preceding the Ebor, which the City of York, sorry, but it's always good to give a race a name. Yeah, upgraded to Group 1 for the first time, and we'll start there. I was just listening to someone the other day say, well, they've upgraded it to Group 1, but basically this is a quite straightforward race to evaluate because it's full of Group 2 horses. There's only one Group 1 horse in it. That's Rosallion. So he just wins. When I was first doing my notes for this and sort of reading up on it yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, I was pretty against Rosallion. Me being predictable, short price favourite, likely to take it on, but also 5 to 4 looked very skinny for a horse whose last three figures are 3, 2, 2. As in, he's not exactly a serial winner. And while excuses can and have been made for all those 3 defeats, as I said when we were previewing the Marroir when Rosallion was going there, how short a price do you want to take on a horse for whom excuses keep being made? Back to 7 furlongs wouldn't worry me for the son of Blue Point. He's got enough toe for this. And yeah, he is on time form, clearly the top rated horse in the field. But I was against him at 5 to 4. That seemed really skinny enough. Now, just looking at the market this morning as I'm moving, there's a move for the second favourite, who I liked more at the prices. It was a line of blue, never so brave across the board. And Rosallion is out to 13 to 8 in prices. And that's getting back towards territory where if you think he's just the only Group 1 horse in this race, that's potentially getting more attractive. I won't back him at that price, but I'll see if he drifts some more. Interesting. Never So Brave is the one taking money. Now, some people won't be having this horse as a short price second favourite. He's 3 to 1 standout with Bet365 at the time of recording, but as short as 5 to 2 with most bookmakers now. Getting very short, but this is a really exciting progressive horse. He didn't just win the Buckingham Palace, he blew the opposition away, carrying a welterweight. And the first few home, this was not sort of narrow, narrow margins. This was a couple of lengths and a couple of lengths. They're really strung out. And it was given a huge figure by Timeform, better, incidentally, than anything Rosallion has done this year. He then backs that up, this ex-former stout handicapper now with Andrew Balding, by going on to win the Summer Mile, picking up, and here's echoes of Rosallion really, with Kirat, the pacemaker that he didn't pick up in the Sussex Stakes at Goodwood. Never So Brave was in a race with Point Linus, a decent horse on fast ground who went many, many lengths clear. And anyway, Never So Brave was the only one to pick him up. Didn't get quite as good a rating for that as he did his previous run, but given that the way that race panned out, he did pretty well. I think this guy is very live, and he would be my idea of the better bet of the two, or rather, that's what I thought yesterday when this fellow was 10 to 3 to Rosallion's 5 to 4. It's now 3 to 1 and 13 to 8. By the time you view this, I don't know what the differential will be. I can't believe Rosallion will drift out as far as 2s, and I can't believe Never So Brave will get as low as 9 to 4, 2 to 1. But one to watch. I did an AntePoster play on Never So Brave a while ago. I'm not going to touch him even if he sticks at 3s, but I wouldn't put anyone off him up. The rumour I've heard, and of course rumours are often not worth the paper they're not even written on, is that those connected to the owner are more excited by this guy than they are More of Thunder, who is now, as we saw in the Hungerford when he was a Group winner waiting to happen. He's now a Group 2. He's a Group 2 winner, and he's a Group 1 winner waiting to happen. So they really do rate Never So Brave. He's clearly improved hand over fist for Balder since the move to Balding's Yard. So, yeah, I wouldn't put anyone off Never So Brave. Marinoa Charlie, coming over from France for Christopher Head. Interesting horse. He won his first 3 races as a juvenile and looked like being the top French juvenile. Then he went to the Criterium de Saint-Cloud on heavy ground, sort of 9 or 10 furlong race at Saint-Cloud right at the end of the season. Desperate ground, heavy ground, and he shot off like a rocket. He's a front-running type. Fell in a hole on that ground out with the washing. Took him a while to get back on track, but he's now very close to having won a Group 1. The Prix Jean Prat, which was a much better edition of that race than it usually is this year, saw Woodshauner get up on the line. He's since run well in the Maurice de Geest, and there was Line and Winter and Shadow of Light in that. Obviously, Line and Winter flopped, but yeah, Woodshauner's come and back that up. And the interesting thing about that race is that Marinoa Charlie, having sort of led it and forced it, was then overtaken, swallowed. He was about third, or might even been close to fourth, but then he fights right back on the line. He almost gets up again. So he's got the ability to battle for a front runner. I like that. On the ratings, he's got a bit to find, and the other reason I'm gone off him now is because of the other pace in this race, and we'll come to that later. But there are a couple of other horses who really want to be forward, so I think there's a lot of pace, and I think he's not going to get a freebie up front, put it like that. So, yeah, I'm slightly against Marinoa Charlie, even though I like the horse. I think the setup of this race is wrong for him. Lake Forest, some people will have given up on because he hasn't won. He hasn't won in a while. He hasn't won since an epic defeat of Lazat, no less, in a race in Australia back in the last year. Was a simply obscene amount of money, where he came flying late to take the spoils. That's what he likes to do generally. And I think this race sets up for this guy. Some people will remember he was liked by many people, including us, including price-wise, for the Queen Anne, beaten into 6th there, 2.5 lengths. That didn't pan out. Then he was pretty dreadful at York. Nothing sort of went right for him. He ran a dull 1-2 back. And last time was much better in the Lennox Stakes at Goodwood. He was the only horse to really come from right out of it to finish second, nowhere near Witness Stand in the end. But the way that race was run, it was eye-catching. And you could argue he might have been the best horse in that race. So he's now clearly back in form. He's got those runs under his belt. But crucially, I think he gets the setup he wants here. There's a lot of pace. There's a lot of horses who want to go forward. And I think, York's long straight will let the battles play out. And there's a really good chance this guy can come and win the war. I just think 10s is too much, far too big for a horse of his talent. So yeah, Lake Forest, very keen on a bit sort of moot whether it's an each way play or just a win only play. In an 11-horse field, though I'm not sure one of them will be declared, so we'll go down to 10. But anyway, don't forget, by the way, in terms of York form, Friday was bad 2 out. He won a Jim Crack here last year. So, he handles the course just fine. And if you're worried about his pace, having not got there over the Lennox, remember he was second in the Commonwealth Cup as well. So, yeah, fast ground, which he's got. Pace set up, which he's got. I think he's too big. Audience. What do we do with audience? Standout 18s with Bet365. By the way, did I say Lake Forest was 10-1? Yeah, 10-1 generally, but no great luck for him. Audience 18s standout with Bet365, 16s, 14s elsewhere. I think almost everyone will have given up on this horse. I can't quite. You can get, and I've just nibbled at, and obviously this is not a very liquid market. There's not much money there, but on the exchange you can get 34, 36 to 1 on this horse. And exchange is a great way to play it because you only want win only with this rogue. It has been an awful long time since Audience ran really, really, really well. But those 2 times he did last season, winning the Group 1 Lockinge and carrying an absolutely monster weight penalty to win the Lennox at Goodwood by clear lengths. Those two standout bits of form put him absolutely right up there with Rosallion and Never So Brave on the figures. So the question is whether you think he can do it again. He's run badly 5 times since. Middle East trip was a disaster for 6 furlongs. That probably wasn't his gig. And he looked maybe a bit out of love with the game. He was third in the Lennox last time, so that was the best run he's put together in a while. And as I say, some of you will be groaning and having long since get up on this horse. I just say to you, B1 first time blinkers might not make any difference, might make him run worse. And yeah, the overwhelming likelihood is that you'll lose your money backing this horse. But 18 to 1, I know it might drift further, but as I say, 30 to something on Betfair, that just feels wrong to me. There is a chance he can get back to his best. If he gets back to the best, he's one of the big players here. So I really don't think that's the worst win-only play, even though, as I said, many of you will have simply thrown this horse out long ago. Here at Group 1 winner of the Sussex, when last time the Group 1 winner of the Sussex Stakes went off 18 to 1 on his next start? The answer is when he was the pacemaker and not expected to do anything of the sort. All the ratings guys at the Racing Post at Time Form have given him a very lowly rating for that race, which they believe he stole at the front. It's now, of course, in hindsight, we can all kick ourselves and see he was 2 for 2 at Goodwood, or was it 3 for 3 at Goodwood? And the chance of him running a very good race was very high. But many of us wouldn't have seen that in advance, unfortunately, just kicking ourselves now looking in the rear view mirror. He was just a high-class handicapper with a blowout, actually, on his card on the previous run. And so I don't quite see it. But Beckett seems to be keen to take him to the Breeders' Cup, where, a front-running start could get him a piece of it. There's too many front runners in this. You've got Marino, Charlie, you've got Audience, you've got Keynote. He will have had to jump to a completely another level next time in a way that is not quite believed to win this. That said, 16 to 1 if he drifts, it's not impossible. I retain my skepticism, but I do acknowledge that skeptical stance is fairly matched and reciprocated by his price, which is big for a Group 1 winner last time. Exactly like this filly against her own, but I think she's in too deep here. She was pretty decent fourth in the French 2000 when she had to be slightly snatched up, or was at least got a hefty bump, was hampered in the last furlong in that famous race where there was a steward's inquiry with She's Perfect and Zaragana. Then she seemed to be rather used as a pacemaker for January in the Coronation. Had much too gas used, trying to sort of shoot into the lead off the bend, and faded quite badly. Then she was fifth in the pre-Rothschild, but she kind of did the worst of those with what I consider to be a favourable draw. So I don't think it was any better than it looked, and possibly worse. And I can't quite see it here. Possibly those who feel in Eden we trust, and right, of course, Ryan Moore on board will feel that she might be worth a go, particularly if she drifts to a crazy price. But I probably won't play her. Quinote, by contrast, is a different matter. 20 to 1. I've been wrong about this horse. I'll freely admit that. Was a hard-knocking handicapper listed horse who, when put up to his level, is not up to it. But then he won a decent Group 3 a couple back. Got a gutsy attitude. So while he's never done it at Group 1 level, he faded to 5th in a Group 2 last time. And he doesn't have a great setup because there are other front runners. You think there's all sorts of things against this horse. And the key thing is York. He is 3, if I'm right saying, he's 3 from 3 at York. He loves this track. And on the horses for courses angle, I just don't think he should be 20 to 1. Now, that said, there is money for him, and he's 16s, and a few places 14s most. So only the 20 hangs on with Bet365. But I actually think that's decent each way for a horse who loves this course so much. So I wouldn't put you off Queen Note. I would put you off Seagulls 11 at 22 to 1, and by the Brighton football guys. Look, he was a good 2-year-old who lost his way and has come back recently, second in a listed race behind Opera Ballo, very, very classy miler. And then he won a Group 3 at Goodwood last time, but that was soft ground, a 4-horse race in which the best horse in the race, in my eyes, Cosmic Year, sort of managed to find himself trapped and not able to get a run. I think he's in too deep here. It's as simple as that. We'll waste more than your time. 10 Bob Tony, I wasn't expecting to run, and I still almost don't expect it to run because they want cut for this guy, and it's good to firm, good in places at the moment, not good firm in place. I mean, it really is proper fast ground now. They didn't water the straight track last night, put a bit of water on the round, but the straight should be riding fast. I guess if they put more water on it, it might turn softer. But so I'm slightly surprised to see, 28 to 1 you can get, but he's a line of blue on odds checker. There's love for this horse, but I'm not absolutely convinced he's going to be declared. And on the fast ground, I'd be pretty surprised if he was around at the business end fighting for the places. Finally, you have the likeable Anaf at 80s. A really likeable horse, but some of his best work has been done on the all-weather. He was third in a Group 1 once, but his Group 1 record is 3rd, 7th, 15th, 9th, 13th. There's 2 trips to York. I've seen him finish 5th and 4th, so he's hardly in love with the course. 80s is always quite a big price for a horse of talent, but I don't see it. So no love for the outsider. In summary, I think watch this market. There's this extraordinary drift on Rosallion and money coming for Never So Brave as I write this. I suppose if Rosallion gets this sort of hacks of 15 to 8, 2 to 1, even I might say, well, okay, this is quite big for such a talented horse, who is clearly the best form horse in the race and the best overall record in the race. But Never So Brave. If the market falls out of love with this one, we don't know the ceiling of this guy. So that's a great battle up front. Marino Charlie, I'm lukewarm on. Lake Forest, I like. I've backed at 10s. He's too big. He's too talented to leave at that price. I'll probably be in a minority of one, certainly looking at Betfair for the love of audience. But once upon a time, last season, he was looked top draw on 2 occasions and first time blinkers. I can't possibly rule him out. Watch Queer Out with fascination, but like many people, doubt that Sussex was a real Group 1 performance. And Quino, the 3-4-3 at York, 20 to 1, hasn't got the setup, but could expect him to run well given his course form. So that's the City of York. Strensall to open the day. It's quite a tricky race. The time rating, we've got an 8-horse field. That may become a 7-horse field because Bullet Point may run, surprisingly, 48 hours later. Was surprised the horse runs more than a mile and is out just 2 days later. Seems to me an extraordinary thing to do. So kind of I'd be doubtful, but maybe he will turn up, and maybe there are 8. If there isn't 8, there isn't obviously a decent each way angle for the race. That's something to be aware of. Marcus led by King's Gambit, who I accept absolutely deserves to be head of the market on form. What's more, he's got cracking York form. He was 3rd behind Los Angeles in Illinois. You'll say the Great Voltica last year. Also, good form behind Alflela. So both in terms of his overall record, his rating, and his course form, he should go well. I get why he's favourite. It would worry me if I was backing him that he hasn't won a race in his last 7. He slightly went off the boil after that, after that form I was talking about last season and the Los Angeles and Illinois run, and they gelded him in February. So why would you back him with these sort of question marks? I suppose he was very eye-catching in the Wolverton Stakes at Ascot last time. He did his usual thing, coming from far back. This was a slight worry, but a really good third there. And yeah, if he's coming back to his best, this lot have got one of these lots really got to step up if they're to beat him. So I get it. I'm neutral on his price of 9-4 for a horse who hasn't, as I say, 1 in 7 races. It's possibly short enough, but an obvious winner. Beaumark is your second favourite. In a way, that's surprising because on what he's actually achieved on form, he's close to the bottom of the pile. But he was a very impressive winner of a novice earlier this season, so much so that the Gosdens, John and Thaley, chose to chuck him into the French 2000 guineas. That was quite a remarkable thing to do, to take a novice winner straight to a Group 1. And it didn't work out at all. He was much too keen and fresh. I might have just said French 2000 guineas. I'm going to change that to French Derby with apologies. He was too keen at the front and taking on sort of pestering the very good Coolmore horse Trinity College, who hold on for 4th in that race and then went on to win the Hampton Court. But if you forgive the fact that he was too keen, fine, he was beaten 6 lengths, but there's clearly a very good horse there, or they wouldn't have sent him there. So can he now bounce back? Because chucking one straight into Group 1 is not a Gosden-like thing to do. So there's clearly a lot of talent here, taking a bit of leap of faith. But yeah, Son of Kingman out of a Galileo mare. Who knows how high this guy might rate in time. I'm not going to back him, as he's sort of saying, still close to the bottom on ratings. But I can see by why you're thinking, what is not the greatest of races with a favourite who hasn't won in the last 7 races. Why people might take a punt on this one. Bullet Point, third favourite, 11-2. Very, very impressive winner yesterday of a handicap of a massive weight. And time form of assigned that a huge rating, actually putting him to the top of the pile on time form ratings. So impressed were they. So that's Bullet Point's second really good run in a row. So this is a horse in the form of his life, going places. It's the 48-hour thing. If they don't run him, then it's irrelevant what we do or don't think about this horse. If they do, I don't think I could go there for a 2-day turnaround it's not like he was running over 5 furlongs. It was over longer, so I can't go there on that quick turnaround. We'll see if he turns up, but it's a very interesting horse moving forward. Skukuza was an improver in his 3-year-old career and more improvement as a 4-year-old this season. He was a very good winner of a listed run in Ireland 2 back when he looked good and won by a couple of lengths. The horses have run back from that since, done nothing for the form though. This looks a much stronger race. I don't mind that he'd flopped at Gilbert last time in soft ground when his previous 2 wins had been done on good ground. But couldn't quite get there as a bet with him. He neither excites me nor does he horrify me. 6-1. Maybe that's fair, but if it's a 7-horse race, because the horse pulls out, wouldn't make any each way appeal. Skukuza, but lukewarm on him. King of Cities really caught the eye in the Filden, 8-1, by the way, on this Hammond horse. Filden Stakes, and was just worried out of a win by Marvelman, who's a good sort. And he was then taken to the Prix du Jockey Club as well. No show there. Then he was, I think, sort of better than he looked behind Opera Ballo next time when he didn't quite get a run. So I think there's talent in King of Cities. I wouldn't put anyone off him. Yeah, very high top speed figure for that Newmarket run. I might have given you the wrong horse ahead of him, but I might have said, I can't remember who I said who was beaten behind at Newmarket. Might have been, no, it's gone. Anyway, look it up. You might want to watch the rerun because I think that's the most impressive thing he's done. If he gets back to that, he's a player. So 9-1, Gladius. This one's very interesting. Unraced as a 2-year-old, and he's had 4 races, and he keeps on improving. And he's the only one of these with the letter P after his timeform rating, meaning potential for significant improvement. For Ian Balding, I'd be tempted to take a punt on this one at 9-1, which looks, just check that price. Yeah, it looks too big for me for a horse who's got any amount of potential. And yeah, they've put a ring around this race as his next step up for a yard that does that with horses. And I'd be keen on him. I think he'd probably be my most strongest call in this race from a betting standpoint. Gladius at 9s. Boiling Point, I don't get. He's ex-Variant and has moved over to Carl Burke. He was a smart winner of a listed race in his time, but slightly went, if you excuse the pun, off the boil. Since the move to Burke, he's come 5th in a handicap, admittedly off a big weight. Then he was 4th in a listed race at Pontefract. That's not good enough to win here. I'd also note that at Pontefract he was behind Check and Challenge, who's the rag of the field and won the betting anyway. So I have no idea why Boiling Point should be 12-1 and less than half Check and Challenge's price. Don't like Boiling Point. Check and Challenge, I do like. I'm hoping 3 places are available. So that's since I hope Bullet Point runs, because although this guy very, very rarely wins, and it has been 16 races since he has won, and he's perhaps too old. He's got bits and pieces of really good form, placing in top level races. I think I go as far as saying, off my memory, but he has actually been placed in a Group 1. Not decent, sorry, not poor form at York. He was 3rd in this race last year. So is perfectly capable of placing in this race on historical grounds. And 4th to Alflaila at York as well. I just think he's too big at 25-1. That said, he's such an infrequent winner. I can't quite see him winning. And then if Bullet Point drops out and you've got 7 horses, each way angle is probably gone. But yeah, I think Check and Challenge is overpriced. I think Gladius is an exciting one at 9-1, who's overpriced. And I get why people would back King's Gambit. I think it's probably short enough, but he is the best horse in this race on form. That is the Strensall Stakes. And so good luck today. York Day 3. We've got the Nunthorpe, and that's all rather exciting. And indeed tomorrow. And we'll see you again soon, hopefully on this channel. Please do subscribe. And if you want to like it, that's always good too for us. And James, hopefully, will be back with me next time, possibly for the pre-morning, pre-Romane discussion, i.e. the Group 1 racing, last of the big Group 1 races at Dover on Sunday. Okay, have a good day.